Hey, what's up everyone out there in YouTube land? So today we got a review on a series of RDAs, or an RDA series, coming from a company called APVlab. And in this video, we're going to be actually reviewing 3 different RDAs, but all the parts and pieces are interchangeable within these 3 RDAs. So you could swap out the top caps, the deck, the drip tip, etc., etc. In this video, we will be looking at the Colossal Titan II, the Enchanted Immortal IV, and also the Fallen Olympian III. Now, all 3 of these RDAs were sent on direct from the manufacturer, APVlab, but if you guys are interested in checking one out or picking one up after the review, I will have links in the description, and currently at the moment, LAVapor.com is stocking these RDAs for $35 each. Now, I really can't find any information on these RDAs online since they are so new at the moment, so I really can't find any specs on these things. So what we're going to do is that when we dive down in the up close, we're just going to go through the specs as we go through the RDA. I'll give you guys measurements and all that stuff. But a few basic specs that all 3 of these RDAs kind of share. They are all made of 303 stainless steel. They are all 22 millimeter in diameter. They all include drip tips, and they all have interchangeable decks and top caps. Also, they have silver-plated adjustable 510 pins. Now, going off the information on the LA Vapor website, the Fallen Olympian III, they're saying is more geared for cloud chasing. The Colossal Titan II is more geared for kind of cloud and flavor chasing. And then the Enchanted Immortal IV is essentially for flavor chasing. So what you can do is you can kind of switch out the build deck for the cloud chasing and put it on the flavor chasing top cap, so on and so forth, and really customize your vape. So before I get any more into these RDAs, why don't we dive down? Let's get up close and personal with the APVlab RDAs. Here we are up close and personal with the APVlab RDAs. Now, I do have all 3 of them, as you can see here. This one right here, I gotta remember the names of these. This is going to be the Colossal Titan II. This one right here is going to be the Fallen Olympian III. And then this one right here is going to be the Enchanted Immortal IV. Each of the RDAs will come presented in these APVlab boxes right here. Inside the box, you will receive the RDA, this little velvet kind of pouch to hold the RDA. And then you'll also receive a bag of spares, which will include an Allen key, some O-rings, some post screws, and they also offer some 510 peak insulators. So here are the 3 RDAs side by side, and what I'm going to do is just go through each RDA individually. But just to give you a quick look at the outside of these, they all look very similar, but you'll notice that each one has a different airflow to them. So this one right here, you'll see the airflow is coming in at the top with a much larger drip tip. Then the Colossal Titan II, you'll notice, has kind of like a tugboat style airflow. We got 1 hole on each side. A little bit different style drip tip on this one. And then the Fallen Olympian III also has airflow on the front, but we have a much more airflow, as you can see there. Drip tip is a little bit smaller. And you can also close off these RDAs to run them in either single coil or dual coil mode. So starting with the Fallen Olympian III RDA, at the top, they do include a nice stainless steel and Delrin drip tip. Now, I believe this is Delrin. I'm not positive if it's plastic or Delrin. It doesn't really look like Delrin, but it does feel like Delrin. It keeps things nice and cool. We have the stainless steel kind of fins on the side. We got dual O-rings. And then you can see at the bottom, we don't have direct airflow. This is one of those anti-spitback kind of drip tips where the airflow comes in along the sides. This really does help cut back on spitback. Working our way down to the airflow control. Now you can run these RDAs in either single coil mode or dual coil mode. At the moment, I have it set up for single or dual coil. As you can see, whatever I set the airflow to on this side will be the exact same on that side. And then if you want to run it in single coil mode, all you got to do is just keep turning the top cap like so, open up one side, and then the other side will be closed off. I do really like the O-rings on all these RDAs. They're nice and stiff. Nothing feels like loose or wobbly. And when you get e-liquid on the O-rings, it's not going to end up spinning on you by accident. So I do like the nice firm O-rings they're using. And then on the front right here, we will see APVlab engraved into the barrel section. This is a 3-piece RDA, so we can remove the top cap like so. And there's your top cap. They are using really thick, chunky stainless steel. Very nice quality stainless steel. There's going to be your 3 air holes. So if you run it in dual coil, it should look like that. If you run it in single coil, it should look like that. And there's your nice beefy O-rings. I really love these O-rings. Huge fan of them. Having a look at the middle section. Once again, using a nice quality stainless steel. No sharp edges. Everything is nice and smooth. Nice and polished up. Beautiful job they did on the stainless steel. Now having a look at the deck, this is the Fallen Olympian deck. This is the standard 3-post deck, kind of similar to like the tugboat and whatnot. We do have a square post in the center with a square peak insulator to prevent spinning over time. Negative post milled directly into the deck. They are using Allen screws in the posts. The post holes on this one do measure 2 millimeter in diameter, so you could fit some pretty decent sized builds on here. Nice, fairly deep juice well on here. Once again, we have that nice beefy O-ring on the side. And then at the bottom, we do have APVlab kind of etched into the bottom deck with a number 3, serialized 106. And then we do have a adjustable 510 pin, silver plated, and you can use these on a hybrid top cap. Up next is the Enchanted Immortal IV. This one, they say, is more geared towards flavor. Starting at the top, we have, once again, that stainless steel Delrin drip tip going on. Style, a little bit different on this one. We still have the dual O-rings. This is a direct airflow drip tip, as you can see there. Now, the airflow on this one is going to be coming in from the top. So there's going to be your airflow holes. And to adjust the airflow, simply going to turn the top cap. Once again, the O-rings are rather stiff because I haven't really broken these O-rings in yet, but that's actually a good thing. And to adjust it, you could pretty much close it off like so, or just keep turning it and open it wide open. You can remove the AFC ring at the top for cleaning, give you a better idea at what it looks like. The air hole openings at the top, I measure roughly around 9 millimeter by 2.5 millimeter. And then the top cap barrel section on this one is kind of like one solid piece. When you pop off the airflow control ring, you can see this is all one solid top cap. Look down inside there. Really nice quality on the stainless steel. Once again, no sharp edges. Everything well taken care of. Really nice machine work on here. Everything snaps and fits right into place. Really, really snug. And then once again on the front, we do have APVlab engraved on the barrel. Now the deck on the Fallen Olympian is different. As you can see, we do have 2 negative posts milled into the deck. And then we have the positive block in the center. We got 4 post holes in total. Building on this one, much, much easier. We do have the same deep juice well on this one. I think the juice well on this one is actually a little bit deeper because we have kind of like that little step down at the bottom there, if you could see. They are still using the square peak insulator to prevent spinning over time. Allen screws in the posts. The post holes on this one are a little bit smaller. They're between like 1.5 and 2 millimeter, but we do have 4 post holes, so you could still get away with putting some larger gauge builds in here. Then on the side, we have that beefy O-ring once again. Holds everything nice and firmly into place. At the bottom, APVlab etched into the deck. The number 4. And then serial number 233 with the silver-plated adjustable 510 pin. Next up is the Colossal Titan II. They're stating this one is for clouds and flavor. Due to the airflow in this one, I'm going to say it's more geared towards flavor. Starting at the top, we have the same style drip tip going on with the Delrin and stainless steel, dual O-rings, direct airflow. This is a 3-piece RDA. Airflow is going to be on the front, very, very similar to the tugboat. We do have 3 airflow settings. There's wide open for setting 1. You can go ahead and adjust it down. It's really hard to turn at the moment because I don't have the O-rings lubed up, but there's setting 2, and then we have 3 settings in total. You can also run this one in single coil or dual coil mode. On the front, APVlab, once again, engraved. Finish on this one, just like all the others, very nicely done. No sharp edges, nice and smooth. Really great job. Then you can remove the inner section by popping it out like so. There's going to be your airflow settings. Like I said, you got 3 air holes. You can run it in either dual coil or single coil. There's your beefy O-ring to hold the airflow control nice and firmly into place. Nice conical design. Really thick, chunky stainless steel on this one. I do love the quality of the stainless steel on these RDAs. We have the barrel section. Typical barrel section. Nothing really fancy going on here. But, like I said, everything is just nice and smooth. We have a 2-post style deck. Really do enjoy building on this one. And if you could see those post openings, they're humongous. They're almost like square. So you can fit pretty much anything inside this deck and not have any issues with trying to squeeze, 2 or 4 leads of wire in there. Juice well on this one. It's deep. It doesn't seem as deep, but it's still got a fairly deep juice well. We do have Allen screws in the post once again. I believe the negative post is milled directly into the deck. Then we have the positive post right there. And then on the side right here, we have that beautiful O-ring again. And at the bottom, APVlab serial number 156, number 2. And you can also safely use this one on a hybrid top cap. Another cool feature about these RDAs is that you can mix and match the top caps, the drip tips, and the decks. So let's say that you like this deck right here, but you don't like the way the airflow is, the single air hole right here. You much rather have top airflow. So what you can do is you can grab the top airflow cap and you can easily use it on there, no problem. So now you have a dual post RDA that has top airflow. Or let's say you wanted to go with the 4-post deck, but you weren't a fan of the top airflow and you just wanted to kind of keep it standard. You can go ahead and grab this top cap with this deck, pop it in place, and there you go. You're not a fan of the drip tip, remove that drip tip. You can go ahead and use the smaller drip tip. Pretty much build your own RDA. You can use this indirect drip tip, and there you have it. You have a completely different RDA. And as you can see, I have a build on the dual post RDA at the moment. I got a dual Clapton coil on there, and I'm actually using the top airflow on this one. So I'm getting top airflow with the dual post deck. Really, really nice combination. And then on the RDA that has the 4-post, you can see I'm using a dual coil on this one. Just a standard dual coil, 8 or 10 wraps. Nothing really fancy. And I matched it up with the larger airflow top cap right there with the 7 air holes on each side. This is one of my favorites also. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to be it for the up close and personal with the APVlab RDAs. Let's jump back up and let's have a vape. Alright guys, there you have it. 3 RDAs from APVlab. At the moment, I'm not sure which deck this is. I think it's the Colossal Titan. I got the dual post RDA with the top airflow top cap sitting on top. This TOL wooden box mod, series box mod. Let's have a quick vape. These RDAs put off a really, wow, that is a strong, strong hit. these RDAs putting off some really, really awesome flavor. All right, so let's talk about the APVlab RDAs, the series of RDAs. I've had these things for quite a while. I've had them so long that actually they already came out with a V2, and right before I went to do the review, they told me to hold on because they were coming out with the updated version. Now, the ones I showed you in E Up Close, those are the updated versions. If you go on to the LA Vapor website, the problem is the photos they're showing are of the older versions. There's not really that much of a difference you're going to notice, but for instance, on the Colossal Titan, I believe, the dual post one, in the photos online, it shows dual post with 4 post holes, but in the revised version, or the V2, it's actually 2 posts with just 2 large post holes. So I think they need to go on the LA Vapor website, kind of update the photos, update the descriptions a little bit. I would like to see some specs on these things. Nothing I hate more than going on a website to buy a product and they have no specs listed at all in regards to the product I'm buying. I can't stand that. But, I mean, just a minor little thing that kind of annoys me. But anyways, I've been using these things for quite a while. I've used the older, well, not really older version. They just made some minor adjustments. But I've been using both versions. And these are some pretty awesome RDAs. They're really simple, all right? There's nothing really extravagant going on with them. But what I like most about them is that I could swap those top caps with the decks. Really awesome idea. Now, this is a really good idea for someone who maybe just getting into RDAs, or someone who doesn't have a massive collection and who's looking to get a little bit of everything, because you got like the names on these things are just crazy. I can never remember which is which. That's the only confusing thing about these RDAs. But you got the Colossal Titan II. It's like a tugboat style airflow on it, and then you got the dual post deck on there. Then you got the Fallen Olympian, which has much more airflow. Then you got the Enchanted Immortal IV. These names are crazy, with the top airflow. So you could start off with the 3-post deck, kind of build on there, or you could start building on the 4-post deck or the 2-post deck, switch out the top caps, and kind of customize your vape and, see what combination you like most. My favorite setup, or my favorite combinations, are either the 2-post deck with the top airflow, or the 2-post deck with the larger air, the 7 air holes on one side, 7 on the other. Those are my favorite combinations. Now, the quality on these things, really, really nice job. I was actually really impressed. I didn't think they were going to be this nice. The chunkiness of the stainless steel, the quality of the stainless steel, very impressive. Really nice machine work on these things. No sharp edges, no like drill, holes anywhere, no shavings, no funkiness. Everything was really nicely done. The O-rings, I love a nice O-ring. Trust me, I love a nice O-ring. Like people like a nice beer or a nice pizza or a fine wine, I like a nice O-ring. I like the added fact that we do have the adjustable 510 pin. Now, I don't recommend using a adjustable 510 pin on a hybrid top cap, but these pins do stick out far enough to use on a hybrid top cap without having to adjust them. Also, a nice little added touch that I like about the APV RDAs is in the spare parts bag, they actually include a replacement insulator for the positive post. Something you really don't see that often. Now, one thing about the RDAs that I did notice, even though in the description they're saying that some are designed for cloud chasing, others are designed for flavor, between all 3 of these RDAs right here, none of them really cater to any like wide open airflow. The most airflow I think you're going to get is probably going to be out of the, which one's this called? I forgot. These names are just killing me here. The Fallen Olympian III. I think that one has the most airflow on it. And still, it's not restricted, but it's not going to be a super wide open vape. Not really. I don't think any of these are really going to be geared for cloud chasing. I mean, you can get a lot of clouds, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't bring any of these RDAs to a cloud competition. So I would like to see maybe a 4th RDA in the series that would offer like just completely crazy wide open airflow. So then that way we can cater to the very smallest airflow, like tugboat style, for like, you know, flavor and for the new builder, and then you can work your way up to the, you know, like the medium size, the top airflow, and then the fourth one would be just completely crazy, like phenotype L airflow. I do like the simplicity of these RDAs. I mean, they look very nice and simple, and they all kind of look the same. So if you interchange them, let's say if you're doing the whole matchy-matchy thing and you decided to change out a top cap, you're not going to mess up your looks because it's still going to look the same, since all these RDAs pretty much kind of look identical. So, I mean, APVlab, they have a really good thing going on here. I like what's going on. I like this idea. I think it's cool. I just think they need to add maybe one more to the mix to just have much more airflow to it, and maybe offer them in like a set, because at the moment you can only purchase them individually. And what did I say they were going for? 35 bucks each. So do the math, 369, 105, 105 bucks for 3 RDAs, made in China. I don't know. That's going to be up to you on that one, but you know, I would like to see a series, or like, say, like a, you know, have these like in a nice large box, have like 3 or 4 of these, and present them in like a series, like a nice box, like, you know, and then on the box have it like flavor RDA, and then have it like cloud chasing RDA. You know, I think they got a good thing going on here. They might just need to market it a little bit differently. But as far as quality is concerned, vape quality, build quality, looks, I'm pretty impressed. All right, so let's go through some of the pros and cons before I keep talking and this video ends up being an hour long. I did jot down some pros and cons throughout the time I was using these, and I'm going to share them with you guys right now. Pro number 1, love the quality of the machine work and the stainless steel. Very, very impressed. I was not expecting these RDAs to actually look like this. Everything down to the O-rings, to the screws, to the post holes. Everything. Really, really nice job. Pro number 2, obvious pro, is I like the fact that you can interchange the decks and the top caps and the drip tips, and you can kind of customize your vape for that day. Pro number 3, I like the fact that these RDAs can safely be used on a hybrid top cap. Pro number 4, like I said earlier, people love fine wine. I love nice O-rings. Let me tell you, the O-rings on these RDAs are very, very impressive. And the last pro, I like the fact that we have a ton of airflow options. Now, I am doing pros and cons in regards to all 3 of these as a set. I'm not pro and conning these things individually. I'm doing pros and cons as if you were going to buy all 3 of them together. And I think the airflow options with all 3 of these RDAs are pretty much endless. All right, so there are the pros. Let's jump through some of the cons really quick. First con on this one, they should be offered in a set of 3, like I said. The individual idea is a good idea, but for instance, let's just say the kind of tugboat style RDA. If I just seen it on a website for 35 bucks, I probably would look right past it, because there's a lot of other RDAs out there that can do, you know, much better at the $35 price range. So I would probably just look right past it. But if these things were offered like in a set of 3 in a nice little presentation box, I think that would be really, really appealing. So I would like to see in the future these kind of be available in a set, and also offer it at a cheaper price. If you're going to buy it in the set, I think the price should be much lower. The next con, even though in the description they state you can cloud chase with these things, I still think the airflow is rather restricted. Now, I did say in the pros that we do have a lot of airflow options, and we do have a lot of airflow options, but we don't have that wide open cloud chasing airflow option. And the last con on this one, it's not even a con, it's just because I really couldn't find much wrong with these things, is the dual post deck is using different size Allen keys than the other 2 RDAs. So that means you got to use 2 different Allen screws, so that Allen wrenches, so that kind of throws off the whole interchangeable thing. So you can't interchange the screws because they're much larger. I know, really stupid con. I know, but like I said, I really don't have any other complaints about these RDAs. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for the pros and cons on the APVlab RDAs. Let's have one last vape. Really, really nice vape off these things. Very, very impressed with them. I would like to see a few changes, or maybe just a few a few things added in the future. Like I said, I'd like to see a fourth RDA kind of fitted into the series, and I'd like to see them available in a nice little pack for a much lower price. All right, so the question is, would I recommend these things at the end of the day? Oh, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to put it to you this way. If you bought these things in the 3-pack, if you bought all 3 of them as a set, I would recommend them because the customization is endless. You can do really cool ideas. You can customize your vape and everything. Buying them individually, I mean, they're really basic RDAs. There's nothing really too exciting going on with them. The quality is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The vape they put off is awesome, depending on your build. But I think the excitement lies in the fact that you got 3 of them and you could interchange everything. So I kind of do recommend them if you buy them. You know, you buy the series, but if you buy them individually, there's other RDAs out there that offer a little bit more for the price. All right, guys, so that's all I got for you today. If you have any questions or comments about the APVlab's RDAs, please feel free to leave them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to everyone very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and